am a soprano music theater actress, originally from Oklahoma City. And for the past 10 seasons, I've been doing work with Idaho Shakespeare Festival.
Hi, my name is Peter Lake, and I'm an operatically trained performing artist, singing all over the world on cruise ships, grew up all over the world, and currently located in New York City.
Hi, my name is Kelly Glyptis. I am a classically trained soprano, but I'm also a musical theater performer as well. And I just finished a 2-year run in the West End on Phantom of the Opera, and I just sang with the Lithuanian National Opera as well. And now here we are.
And it's her birthday.
And today is my birthday!
Hi, my name is Michael Cárrasco, and I am an actor, singer, enthusiastic mover based in New York City.
Yes,
and I have sung everywhere from cruise ships to regional theater to Broadway tours to off-Broadway. I will sing in a basement if they allow me to.
I love Boise, obviously. I came here my first time in 2011 when I just graduated undergrad, and I was doing a production of Cabaret, and it was the most magical summer of my whole life. I had the best time. I was just biking around, like going to the shows, meeting people around town, and well, here I am all these years later. So I have an extreme fondness for this place.
I adore the plains and the desert of it all, and the mountains in the distance, and this part of the country just fires my spirit. So I love this outdoorsy culture and everything that's here. So I just love it here, and then I get to come sing.
So my grandmother actually lives here. She's 96 this year, and she has a shout out, Marilyn Ridgway, we love you. She got to hear me sing at the Operatini, and she's gonna come to the performance, and she hasn't heard me sing in well over a decade. So we're very excited. But yeah, my whole family lives here. My grandmother, I have 2 aunts that live here, my cousins and their families. So yeah, I've been coming here for a while.
What I love most about Boise is the accessibility of the big city life that you can easily get away from. You know, I'm staying up in the mountains and I overlook all of downtown, and it's beautiful. But with that also comes the accessibility of arts and museums and Boise Opera. So I think that's incredible that everyone has this in their backyard, because not everyone's that lucky.
I understudied Glinda on the tour of Wicked, and I was in Montreal, Canada, and I think I had been understudying it at this point about 6 months. We had a girl that was like never miss, so I was like kind of chomping at the bit. I was like, oh God, when is it gonna happen? So I finally get the text, and I show up, and the automation is down. It's a no-fly show, no bubble, no Elphaba in the sky, defying gravity. So, which is really a bummer. And but of course I had practiced on the ground. They can't always bring in the bubble for understudy rehearsals. So it kind of, in a way, was me doing what I was used to. But, yes, of course. So I said, well, can I at least have a martini glass instead of the wand? Like, she's too drunk to drive. Haha, get out there, get out there. But it did make for a very memorable first show. And I got to do it later and be in the bubble.
My favorite show I've ever gotten to do, just for me personally, I've done amazing operas and great other, I've been doing Cats for 2 years. But just for my heart, I got to play Bert in Mary Poppins. Yeah, I was in my master's, and I got to, all the dancing, all the high stepping, and the Mary Poppins is very close to my heart, and the musical also. So the fact that was my ultimate dream role that I never thought I could get to do, and I got to walk the proscenium and tap dance across.
Did you tap dance?
Yeah, flying into the wings, and
wow.
This is for my soul, and I get to remember this forever. I got to tap dance on the ceiling, and that is all I want out of musical theater.
I got to do the collegiate premiere of Light the Piazza, Adam Guettle's Light the Piazza, and I was Signora Naccarelli when I was 19 years old.
19 going on 59.
19 going on 59. And I got to play Signora Naccarelli, and there's a moment where she turns to the audience and she just speaks in English for like a hot second, and I know this is very like tooting my own horn, but the audience started applauding, and Maestro had to put his baton down, and the orchestra put their instruments down, and we had to wait. And I was like, and it was one of the most. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm doing it. I did a show. I did good. I did good. And of course, you know, like that. You know, it was college. I'm sure people were like, yeah, Callie, but like it was probably just my friends. But still, it was really cool.
The moment.
Recently, I did Beauty and the Beast, and my belle was black, and I'm Latino, and we just looked at each other, and we said, what are we doing here? Because we never saw ourselves in these roles, you know? So we just looked at each other, and we said, this is incredible, you know? And after a while, all these little kids of color would flood the apron of the stage, dressed as her, dressed as me, and we would just stay there and talk to them and take pictures with them. That connection and that representation, they don't see either, so it was so important. So that was very powerful for us.
I think it's important, you know, especially when you feel a resistance to a story. I think that's a chance to get curious versus push away. I think art is calling you to be like, come and sit down and see if you can go under the layers with us.
And it's a reflection of the human condition, so it's brand new every time.
These classic stories, that's why we need to hear them again and again. There's always something new to be had and to receive from it. That's why Christmas Carol is the tradition it is. You know, it's important for us to hear those stories again and again and again.
And when you re-examine 100 and whatever year old opera, we re-examine it with our modern lens. So what do we know now that we can focus on or tweak? But I mean, there's something also so beautiful in this world of technology and fast and instantaneous sort of dopamine fix that you can sit down and turn your phone off and connect and really take in something that is honestly so innocent as singing I love you.
And ancient. I mean, we've been doing it since, you know.
Greeks, cavemen.
Yeah, exactly,
You know,
exactly.
We are genetic storytellers.
You never know what you're going to get when you go to see a new piece that you've never seen. And
Or an old piece that you've seen.
well, yeah, like, or if you've seen it before, yeah, and you want to see it again, and you're like, oh, I get.
And wherever you are at in your experience and your
Yeah.
human walk, it
affect you
just
differently.
You don't remember as
you relate
clearly
to a
as you
different
think
character
you do.
now.
It's like, yeah, you don't remember. You're like, oh, I've seen it, so I know what happens. It's like, it's not about what happens. It's about the experience of living that again, and you get something else out of it. I'm literally rewatching Star Trek, and I was like,
This is our surprise face.
and I was like, I know all these episodes, but then I rewatched them and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot that happened. I forgot that this, and you get it. And I mean, I know that's a silly, maybe comparison, but it's like, there's nothing wrong with going around again and getting something else out of it. Or I've seen The Princess Bride 100,000 times, and I still see
Never enough
moments. I'm like, oh gosh, I forgot. That's amazing, you know. Like, so, yeah.
And theater at its core is dangerous. It's dangerous because it's live. There's no cut, there's no edit, and you have to troubleshoot and connect with your actor. And well, that didn't work tonight, you know?
The automation might not work, and then you have to improvise. Like,
So you will never ever see the same show because we're not the same. You don't know what happened to us before we walked in that door. And yes, we have direction and our focus and our training, but it's live. It's a shared, intimate experience, and then it's gone. A great way to slow down is to take a seat and be challenged and be taught and listen differently in an opera or in a musical like Sweeney Todd, and that human exchange is going to just charge your life and continue to charge your life and change your life, hopefully. Art is very important.
Yeah.
And life is hard. Life is hard for everybody for so many different reasons, and that's why I fell into theater, you know? Because I have the ability to drop everything at that stage door and live someone else's life, and the research that goes along with a role in a different time period requires so much focus to count, to sing, to hit your mark, to get out of the way backstage because she has an entrance or he has an entrance. You know, it requires so much brain power, and it's wonderful to detach in that way as well. Reality is always going to be waiting, but when you're in the dark of that theater, we're all together and we're all on this journey.
Well, and we all like to make stuff. We like to create. And that's why I'm in theater. You know, it's like I just like to make it. Even when I was a little kid in church, I'm like, I don't want to sit and sing. I want to be up there and sing, not because of an aggrandizement. I just want to make, I want to create. I want to create something. And I think everyone has that, but then there's points where we're all told, not all, but many people are told, oh, you're not good at this, so you can't make it. But here's the thing, what you were talking about, the audience is the last piece. We build this show for weeks, we rehearse, we do everything we can in the room, and then suddenly, now we need someone to see it. If a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, doesn't make a sound. If we do a show and we don't have y'all, the audience, did we do a show? Technically, no, we don't. Without people to just enjoy it and be part of it. And that's the thing is, if you feel like you don't get to create, if you don't feel like I'm not a creative person, if you go to a show, you are one of the creators. You're breathing, you're unwrapping of your candy wrapper. Now please silence your cell phones. But anything you do in that moment, you're part of the show with us.
Keep supporting Opera Idaho and the arts in Boise and everywhere. It's so important, so vital to our survival through any hardship, especially as we're changing in this advanced technological era, and will continue to advance. I think these traditions are what will hold us rooted to our ancestors and where we came from and what's really important about the human experience.
Yes.